name is David. From England
Yes.
or London?
How long?
London.
London. No, it's near London.
Wow.
Your name is David.
UK?
Your name is David.
Yes, British America.
Where are you from?
Well,
Where are you from?
see British America?
You?
Yeah, I'm a British.
You're British.
Yeah, in Morocco. See, I am. See, David, this Stewart.
Sir David Stewart.
Yeah, that's the company.
Where are you going, David? Sir David?
I'm going to Europe.
You're going to Europe.
Yeah.
And where are you coming from?
I'm coming from Africa. Africa, Dakar.
Second-hand cars, 200 miles
It's
away from
beautiful.
This is Amy, this is Yemi.
It is. I'm easily impressed.
Okay, thanks a lot. Cheers, nice to talk to you. Yeah.
Well, I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
Satisfied. It's a bit of a rust bucket, but I think that makes it an exciting.
It's not as rusty as the other one.
At least we'll have fun painting the van, and then we can create some murals.
So yeah, the less appealing side of charitable giving is the sort of bigging, the British name and I'm the hero or heroine, but that's probably in a minority, and there's a good number of people who drive out a fire engine or a couple of Mercedes Vito vans who have got the idea of just nicely low key and without much flag waving. That usually works pretty well.
It all started during a visit to the Gambia, where I met an amputee. I was able to source this gentleman a new prosthetic leg. Yeah, when I arrived at the family compound holding this leg, I realised that it was of kindness, but this item represented this man's independence.
The current wave of protests actually began last November in Western Sahara, Morocco, which is under Moroccan rule after a brutal invasion and occupation.
Western Sahara is hardly known about the rebellion there, the occupation there.
It's a major atrocity. It's kind of like East Timor, in fact, pretty much the same.
Western Sahara is something that's difficult to talk about because we're standing on Moroccan soil, so it's a political issue, and with all due respect, I don't know who you're filming for, so
of course, no.
I'm reluctant to tell you anything about that from a political perspective.
The trip will take them from Spain through Morocco and the Sahara Desert, down the coast of Mauritania and Senegal to the finish in Banjul in the Gambia. Hopefully they'll make it. On arrival, one of the vehicles will be donated to Legs for Africa, while the second will be auctioned off to raise money for the charity. BBC South Today in Hythe.
it's interesting the characters that Peter pulled together for the Banjul challenge. What was going to happen, they were going to join and then it would fall through. And eventually he got this group of people with very different, surprising in some ways, he made it through. I would have loved to have done it. It's pretty exciting adventure.
It's going to be different from now, so I am a bit apprehensive. That's clear.
It's hard to describe Angela. She's got this organised German efficiency. She's quite straight, and she's got a great heart, but she's underneath she's got this wild spirit. She's got this real wildness about her.
I'm the king of the world!
But I'm thinking about bandits and stuff like that. Yeah.
Bandits?
Bandits.
So what kind of bandits?
I don't know.
Who's Carson? Yeah. I guess I see him and Angela that certain things that we probably think of from a more Western society, having grown up in these open democracies and relatively free, things we would take for granted or we wouldn't even think about. I see Kirsten obviously has some, not scars, but grew up in a very different way, and you can see that coming across in different attitudes he has towards certain things.
Everyone says it will be fine.
And he broke down in the Sahara. He had about 10 days worth of water. He's in the middle of nowhere, and he dismantled his 2CV and made a motorcycle out of it.
Well, Peter always has an interest in observing and understanding people.
My biggest concern at the moment is my paranoia over our contact with the Polisario and our discussions over the Saharawi.
Peter's very comfortable sitting back and observing and just allowing things to unfold, and quite good at understanding the hidden dynamics.
Because there's the assumption maybe that the Moroccan authorities track Polisario emails, or they look up anything online that has the word Saharawi in it.
Saharawi.
Saharawi. Saharawi.
Yeah.
One way I find he looks at things, he recently explained, he said you should go to Rome and do a tour of Rome, but bring a map of Toronto. And that's Peter.
That's right.
That's right.
Plans are changing every second.
I always heard about Danielle as this almost a mythical character through Peter. This person in Peter's life, this kind of, not mythical character, but this person who's out there.
We are sort of dropping in here like aliens. But my feeling is, the moment you approach them, people in general, not only here, you say hello and you introduce yourself and you explain that you love the place where you are and that you're really enjoying here. They open up and they smile and then they want to talk to you, even if they don't speak the same language.
Peter's crazy ideas, have somebody else to help him to go along with, but also someone with a very different perspective, quite different views on how to do things and what they were going to do. And I can imagine a lot of tension evolving from that.
So, Kirsten,
yes,
give me your impressions of what just happened. How do you feel?
Well, I feel like really quite relieved now, but I didn't know who to trust now. If I should trust you, Danielle, or if I should trust Peter, because Peter was the
you have a difficult choice there.
Yeah, it is, because I trust you both. You guys are both experienced in stuff like that. I'm not, so
So you think it's impossible?
I'm going with the flow. Yeah. Peter decides we aren't going with the flow, so.
Maybe I manipulated this entire thing so we to create a bit of drama in our film. What about that?
Maybe
you
so.
Do that.
Yeah.
You would not dare doing that, would you? Would you? You would. He would.
You would.
But also a lot of creativity.
Yes. Is that good?
And you mentioned about the fact, as
18 vehicles, however many, kind of going through. On the angle that doing, so excuse me if I kind of say another tourist activity, but to actually start from that and actually say, but, you know, all these other things going on in the country.
Yep, so I'm Kevin and shipping here from Perpignan, France, hopefully all the way to Gambia.
Like, it feels like overall it's not selfish, but like somewhat selfish. You wanted to just do travel.
Yes, we came 10 years ago, but 10 years ago was the year that Mauritania had their military coup. So we got as far as Mauritania and we turned around and we came back because we feared death.
It's not clear that like Legs for Africa. It's Legs for Africa, isn't it?
What is the main cause of a loss of a limb in Africa, in your opinion?
So, although we've now partnered with hospitals in 7 different countries, some of them are well known for having a lot of landmines.
And there are also the mined lands in the border with Mauritania.
Funnily enough, something that's really hits you out of the blue is the minefield coming into Mauritania, because there are no signs that there's a minefield. If you want to go for a pee stop, just pee on the road. You don't walk off into the bushes and pee, even if there are people around you. You just pee at the side of the road. You will see the odd sort of disabled car at the side of the road, but that might be because it's been stripped by because it broke down or whatever. But actually there is a minefield.
So the angle that going to do this, but you know, all these hidden things that actually are happening in many places that we travel to.
The Dakar Rally's been running through this region for how many years? I guess it goes through there, and who knows? Who knew?
The Paris Dakar, of course, is, as it was then, going to Dakar. You know, you needed a hell of a lot of money to join it, and actually if you were a bad driver and had the money, they'd still welcome you. They just really wanted your money. So the idea gelled of really shadowing them and staying in the same hotels as they stayed in and parking desperate MOT failures running on red diesel next to these sort of supercars.
So Ben, tell me a little bit about, tell me your story. Why are you doing this?
Shits and giggles, it'll be a laugh.
Okay.
Nothing else.
I travel to everywhere, it's everywhere I travel to yourself.
You know, so that's an angle that often, you know, most people who go as tourists to Western Sahara don't know anything about that.
Well, I know the issue of the refugees camp in Tindouf, in the Western Algeria. All the Sahrawis are there because of the repression of the Moroccan authorities.
Western Sahara, these people have a right to separatism, and the governments of all these countries that have separatists are always against that. So view is that separatists are probably, hurting themselves economically because, little tiny separate states are not going to prosper like, well-organised states with trade agreements.
It feels like the Western Sahara is one piece. This is all underneath the travel story and the people, because I think the people are most important. But you've got the Western Sahara, you've got Western charity. It's like the whole principle of Dakar Rally, big obnoxious, expensive trucks, which people are vehicles, which people are like, all they want to do is drive through countries and throw their plastic bottles out, make themselves feel better. Like that kind of feels like it's another subset. And then Legs for Africa maybe is the third one. And they're the 3 bits under it. And I just feel like the whole thing is summarised perfectly by Sir David. It's like he's on this journey by himself, and it's, I don't know, there's a banality to it. It's like, what's the point? Like, what's the point of, and even the title like almost feels into it, like how you can't get there from here, even though I interpret it different to you. Like, it's kind of like there's a banality to it. And the Dakar Rally, all Western charity and most charities, there's a banality, it's a pointless. I think we probably do more damage. The big ones do more damage, and maybe the small ones help, maybe they don't. there's a story behind it, some weird, crazy story, but unrelated to the traditional reasons places people will go in a city.
Fes is the capital spiritual and the capital of the handicrafts, of the artisans. You heard about the oldest university in the world. Fes exists the oldest university in the world. And that's why in the oldest university there is two parts. There is one part where they study Quran, and there is the second part where they study how they make special handicrafts, the artisans.
What's he saying, Abdul? What the call to prayer?
Say Allah, the God is big.
God is big?
Yeah. Allah Akbar.
Well, I give you 20
Come to us. Don't believe them.
If you read the journals of the old explorers like Heinrich Barth, Gustav Nachtigall, you know, these ancient Germans who came down into the Sahara in the 1860s and 1870s, who were often sponsored by the British, and a lot of their logs and annals are in the Royal Geographical Society. They take an interest in every single plant species, every single verb and noun of the language. They take an interest in absolutely everything, and they record it. And I think that approach is being left behind. You see what I mean? It's really getting in touch with the geology of places and stuff like that. You know, if you can understand what the rock is doing or what the sea is doing next to you, then you've got some chance of understanding how the people who are living here, they have to deal with that, they have to react to that. Understanding things like that, I think, is rather than just like bam, 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 you know. And I think, you know, I'm probably as guilty as anybody else, you know, totally over-equipped.